Welcome to Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free, the podcast where we tackle the literal and figurative clutter standing between you and your healthiest and happiest life. I'm Melanie, your host, coach, and guide on this journey to help you design a life that you love. Whether it's clearing out your kitchen cabinets, untangling your digital files, or letting go of the mental blocks that hold you back, we're here to make space for what truly matters. Let's lighten up together. Starting now. Hey friends, it's Melanie, and welcome back to another episode of Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free. This is episode 44. 44. And if you know me, you know I love numbers. They tell stories, they hold energy, and sometimes they even feel a little bit magical. So let me tell you a little bit about my love of numbers, because you may have heard in previous episodes, I'm not great at math. However, I love numbers. I've always had a thing for numbers. I was born on Friday the 13th, and while most people think of that as unlucky, I have always felt quite the opposite. 13 has been my number forever. And of course, 1 plus 3 equals 4. So here we are, episode 44, double fours. There's something deeply satisfying about that symmetry. And a little wink from the universe that says, you're on the right track, Mel. So let's talk about the famous 44s and the energy behind them. Because when I hear 44, I think of Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, knocking it out of the park when it mattered most. And then there's Hank Aaron, another legend, another 44 who quietly, consistently, and powerfully built his legacy one swing at a time. There's something about that that really hits me. Oh, pun. I didn't even realize as I wrote that. I'm sorry, I'm going to leave it in. There's something about that that hits me. The idea of building greatness, not with flash, but with focus. Barack Obama was the 44th president, a number tied to transformation, perseverance, and vision. And in numerology, 44 is known as the master builder, the energy of turning vision into reality. And that's what this podcast has been for me, building something that helps people clear the clutter, one conversation at a time. Let's talk about 44 years ago. Get this, 44 years ago, 1981, MTV launched. I was just a kid, but I could still remember that opening line. Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll. I literally was watching MTV since day one. It was the soundtrack to growing up, the place where we saw music and style and rebellion and creativity all come together for what for some of us was the first time. So when I heard that after 44 years, they're officially shutting down, I was devastated. If that's not a sign of time marching on, I don't know what is. But honestly, what's MTV been without the music? Somewhere along the way, they traded videos for reality shows. If they'd only gone back to the basics, the videos, the VJs, and the late night countdowns, and that electric feeling of discovery. It's such a reminder that when we drift too far from our purpose, we lose the magic. And that's true for all of us as people, as creators, as dreamers. A little bit more about 1981. I was a gymnast running around in a leotard and dolphin shorts. Do you guys remember dolphin shorts? Doing back handsprings in the living room and always trying to hold a handstand in the elevator on the way up or on the way down without leaning against the walls to and from our 7th floor apartment. Other people find the number 7 super lucky. I mean, have you heard of Mickey Mantle, anyone? Anyway, it's wild to think of how much I've changed since then, the music and the clothes, the world itself. But in a lot of ways, that little kid energy is still in me. The drive, the curiosity, the joy in movement and expression. It's all still there, just channeling in new and different ways. So let's also talk about the numerology of 44. I did a little research on this. I'm not an expert, but I think numerology is really cool. Numerologically speaking, 44 represents foundation and manifestation, the power to build something real. So maybe this is the perfect time to bring someone on who really understands the energy of numbers. I would love to have a numerology expert on the show to unpack how numbers like 4, 13, 44 show up in our lives. what they mean, what they're teaching us, and how they can guide us towards balance and clarity. So if you are or know someone who lives and breathes this stuff, please send them my way. I want to make that episode happen so bad. Okay. So, just a little brief reflection. When I started this podcast, I wasn't sure how long it would last or if anyone would listen. But here we are, 44 episodes in, and it feels like the beginning of something much bigger. Just like in those early MTV days, creative, unpredictable, full of potential. We're still evolving, we're still creating, we're still building something that truly matters. So, as we celebrate 44, think about your numbers. What shows up again and again in your life? And what might it be trying to tell you? And maybe, just maybe, think about what you've outgrown and what you want to bring back to basics. Thank you for being a part of this wild ride, whether you've listened since episode 1 or you just found me today. Here's to the next 44 and all the light, all the laughter, and all the clarity still to come. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend who could use a little lightening up. And as always, take a deep breath, look around, and let something go today. Until next time, I'm Melanie, and this is Lighten Up. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Lighten Up, the Art of Living Clutter-Free. I hope you found a spark of inspiration to help declutter not just your space, but your mind and life as well. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little lightness in their life. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Small steps lead to big changes, and I'm here to help you every step of the way. For more tips, resources, and ways to connect, check out my website, follow me on social media, and don't forget to check out the Design Your Healthy Life Strategy program to take your transformation even further. Until next time, keep letting go of what no longer serves you and making room for what truly lights you up.